Hey guys, hi, this is Faizan and welcome to today's session on how to become a full stack developer in 2021. Now, before I start, can you guys quickly write it in the chat that you guys can hear me, you guys can see me properly? Is the audio good? Can you see me? Can you see the pointer over here? If yes, then give me a quick confirmation in the chat. If I'm looking on this side, that means I'm monitoring your chat, guys. So don't worry about it, okay? Just quickly give me a quick confirmation in the chat. And in the meanwhile, let me give you a quick tour of how our academy looks like and what are the new certificate programs that we have. Okay, so when I click on this thing, right, career transformation programs for from top universities, right, when I click on it, you see over here in software development, I can see that over here is an advanced certificate program in full stack development. So today, as we all know, we came into this session thinking about that we will learn about how to become a full stack development, what are the shortcuts, what are the things that you should learn. Okay, so this is an IIT Roorkee advanced certificate program, and what are the things that we are going to cover in this program are, first we are going to talk about, this is the curriculum. Okay, you can also download the curriculum, you can download the brochure. Okay, so first there will be introduction to programming, right? So in this we will be covering basics of Java, basics of Git, and then command line scripting, HTML, CSS. Okay, so all of these things will be covered in this. Then backend software development, right? So when you talk about full stack, it means that backend as well as some database plus some front end. We are going to talk about it in much more detail in this session. Okay, so then we have this backend software development. In this we will have oops. Okay, first, obviously, whenever you are giving any interview round, then there will be something related to designs, right? And in that he will ask you, make a lift. Okay, make a snake game, tell me what is the tic-tac-toe game, how do you design your, what were the classes, what were the functions that you are going to use. Okay, so all of those things will be covered, will be obvious to you guys when you have a solid foundation or solid knowledge about object oriented programming. Okay, then data structures, very important in order to get through the coding interviews, right? Algorithms, same, database designs and systems, right? Then server side development and frameworks, which will include Hibernate, right? Hibernate, and then your REST APIs. Okay, all of those, Spring Boot. Okay, then front end part, very easy and very simple, straightforward, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you can self-study React. Okay, then there could be a specialization either in cloud computing or in data science domain using Python. So if you're going for cloud computing, we will be covering these many topics. Okay, AWS core, advanced, DevOps. Okay, cloud foundation, Python essentials, Linux essentials. Okay, and then if you're going for Python for data science, then we have these many things that we will be covering. So Python for data science, SQL programming, data analysis, supervised, unsupervised learning. Okay, and that's application. Now most important thing is the career assistance from Great Learning. Obviously you can get these things, you can learn from anywhere, right? But the most important thing is the one-to-one mentorship, and plus resume building things will be there, and mock interviews which will help you now gain confidence and try, and it increases your probability of getting hired, right? So basically it will, the fear of getting into an interview will not be there. Okay, so these things you can check it, and plus the faculties will be there from IIT Roorkee and from Great Learning, right? Okay, cool. So now without further ado, let's get started with our session. And today we will be talking about the full stack development. Okay, okay, cool. I can see some yeses. Okay, okay, great. Okay, right. So now the first thing, what are the things that we will be covering? Because most of the things are either covered on our academy or on YouTube channel. So today I'm going to tell you some of the simple techniques of becoming a full stack developer, because sky is the limit for a full stack developer. Okay, so just to get you guys familiar with how to go through this, how, what to start, what not to start, if you're an experienced guy, what to do, if you're a fresher, what to do. Okay, so all of those things will be covered in this session. Okay, first we'll be talking about a little bit about development architecture, how does it work, then types of developer, how many types of developer are there, who is a full stack developer, right? Then layers of full stack development will be covered. Then salaries, obviously this will be one of the most important things, right? Then common myths, and then what is the correct path. Okay, so these are the things that we will be covering, and this is the most important thing, guys, how to choose a correct path, because there are a lot of things that one can learn, and obviously there are some easy ways as well as some hard ways to go and become a full stack developer. So we'll be focusing on the easy way, as you guys, many of you will be freshers or someone, sir, voice is low. Is this the case for everyone, guys? Can you guys quickly confirm? Maybe Sunita and maybe Dilip, can you guys quickly confirm, is the voice okay? Yes, Renuka. We'll be covering top programming languages in full stack. What are the top programming languages and how easy and what is the shortcut there with which you can become a full stack developer? A straightforward path, not a shortcut, but a straightforward path. Okay. So now let's get started with our web development architecture. When you talk about a web development architecture, right? So there are these things that are there. So obviously when you see any profile, right? Okay, it's okay, great guys, great, thank you. So when you see any when you go on to any website, let's suppose you're on Facebook or Gmail, so there will be first a login page wherein you will enter your credentials, right? Username, maybe an ID, user ID, and then password. Okay, and then maybe if you have forgotten your password, then you can set it up. Okay, so basically when you click on it and then you press and enter, a request is sent to a server, right? This is your server and this is your basically your database and most probably your cloud. Okay, bigger stories, right? So let's keep it simple and let's talk about, let's not go into the cloud thing, right? So your database, which will obviously help you to rectify or help you to send a response to a server, then that thing will happen. Okay, we'll cover this thing, not worry. So a request is sent to a server, right? And server will send this request to the database to check if the credentials are correct or not. Once the credentials are correct, it will send a response saying that okay, this is a valid user, and server will send again this request to your front end part, wherein you will interact with that website, right? And once this is done, this will be a response, right? And once this is done, and you will be in your profile. Okay, then you can do a lot of stuff. So this is a basic web development architecture. You send a request to your server in the database where all of your data, your profile pics, your messages, all of them are present in that data in your database, right? And then once you're validated, a request is sent and then a response will be sent. This is saying that this is a valid user. Okay, great. So now what is the next thing? This is the simplest architecture, that you will send a request, you will send a response. Now how do you deal with these things? Your front end part, your server, maybe server not, but the database, right? So let's talk about them. So first, before moving into that, how you can deal with front end, back end, and then the database, we'll first talk about the developers, because that is very important. There are specific developers that deal with only front end, right? So that includes your HTML, your CSS, maybe if you're an experienced, then Bootstrap, right? And your JavaScript. And if you are an experienced guy, maybe you will be using some libraries like React, which is very popular right now, right? React.js, or some frameworks like Angular. Okay, so now this whole domain, right, that I have shown you right here is of a front end developer, right? He deals with these kind of things, right? He will structure your web page, whatever you see on the web page, right? Structuring your elements, your tags, and then adding some coloring. That means you will be adding some background, some images, that is your CSS. And then how to play around these buttons. Maybe there's a button and when you click on it and it will render to a different page showing that this is the these are your credentials and all. Okay, so that is playing around, that is your JS. Okay, so basically JS is also known as the verb of your web page. That means all the actions that you perform on a web page is your JavaScript. Okay, so this is the front end. Now in back end you can use Java, right? You can use Python, right? And basically now this is where your logic is, right? Whenever you click on this, how do you fetch something from your database, right? And how do you send a request, say a request has been sent, how you will send a response to. or whatever the request was. Okay, so that is your backend. We will talk about this more and more in detail. Okay, now full stack is someone who deals with front end part as well as the back end part. So he is someone who should know all of these things, right? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, Python. Okay, so now this is a this is basically an overview of the types of developers. Okay, now let's talk about more the topic that we are currently in this session. That means we are interested in full stack development, right? So a full stack, who is a full stack developer? A full stack developer is somebody who works with the front end app of an application. That means your HTML, your CSS, your JavaScript, right? He is someone who deals with these things. Okay, and then a backend, that means he will be also building your backend, maybe using some Java, maybe Python, right? And then building your APIs. API is nothing but a bridge. So you will be talking about these things more and more when you have a little bit of experience. But if you are a fresher, you can think of it as a bridge, that something is already there and you can readily go and use that thing in order to perform some different tasks. Okay, and then the code related to the database. So databases will be there where you will be storing your data, and with the help of this backend language you will be fetching that data from your database and giving it or displaying it for in the front end. Okay, so front end only deals with the UI and UX. That means your user interface. What, how should it look like? If you see this slide deck over here, there's a logo, right? There's a title, right? So sir, full stack development is necessary for for full stack development. Even if you are going for a full stack developer role, right, data structures and algorithms are very important, Mohit. Okay, and you should definitely have a good solid understanding of how to implement those data structures in maybe in Java or Python, whatever is the backend language you will be choosing. Okay, it's very important. So basics of full stack developer. Yes, Renika. I will go into that in much more detail. Okay, so don't worry. Now, what is this? This is the page that you see over here, a slide deck. You will be seeing me over here, right? Somewhere around here. Then you see this copyright. Then you see this. Basically, we are structuring our web our slide deck, right? Here should be the logo. Here should be the copyright. Here should be the header. Here should be the text, right? All of these things. So this is how you structure. What is the UI? So it should look interactive, right? It should not be something which is jumbled. And if I would put everything in a straight line, right, and here will be a logo, here will be my image, and it doesn't look good, right? So there should be a proper structuring, and that is where your front end comes into picture. Okay, now if you talk about these things, right, how do you deal with front end, right? So basically a full stack developer will be dealing with front end languages, he will be dealing with back end languages plus the database. Okay, now there are several layers and we will be talking about them as well. Okay, so the first layer of a full stack development is known as your presentation layer, as it is self-explanatory, guys. What will be there in the presentation layer? So basically it will be dealing with how you will be basically interacting, right? So let me just show you our great learning academy, right? So if you see this page, right, if you see let's go over here. So if you see over here, how do you interact? This is basically your front end, right? So you see over here there's an image, there's a button over here. When I click on it, it will redirect me to this page, right? Similarly, if I'm looking for something else, like let's suppose I'm looking for free courses, right? So popular courses which are there on our Great Learning Academy, right? So I click on one of these and it will redirect me to this page, right? So this is your JavaScript or maybe some React will be used, right? So when I click on this thing, let's suppose I'm clicking on the career transformation programs, right? I will close these tabs. Okay, so now as you can see over here, here is again an image, right? If you want to start now, click on it. So again there will be a JavaScript in the back end, right? And you see over here this is moving, right? When I hover over it, right, when I hover over it, it will stop. It will give me the name of this, that this is MIT, this is IIT Madras, right? This is IIT Roorkee. When I hover over it, when I hover over these things, you see there's a autofocus going on and out, in and out, right? So this is all your CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, right, and React, right? See, these are all the things, right? When I click on this, let's suppose are something in software development, right? And then this advanced certificate program that is there for full stack development, right? When I click on this, it will redirect me to this page. Now again, same thing is happening in the here as well. So you have this image over here. When I click on apply now, when I click on this, so you see I have this form that I need to fill, right? So I can easily fill this form. So this is your JavaScript. This is your now when you add all the actions that you are performing on this page. Okay, so can you start a course on front end, back end, and full stack for beginners? It is already there, guys. So you just have to look what smartly. It is already there. I will also show you how you can find all of those things. Okay, so download, if you want to download a brochure, just click on it. Right here is again the image, and if you want to play this video, you can just click on it and play it around. Okay, so all of these things are here. Okay, so similarly we again, I will reiterate what I said in at the beginning, right? So this is your this is the certificate, advanced certificate program that we will be starting with IIT Roorkee, right? So guys can check it. Okay, and all the things that you are covering, we will be covering here, are present in this, right? And the curriculum, and if you're looking for any specialization, that is also there. Okay, cool. Now let's go back. Okay, so this is your presentation layer. Basically what I was showing you again, that is your presentation layer. Now in the back end, when you talk about the business, where is the business layer? So you cannot see that, right? That is something which is for the programmer who has written that. Whenever I click on that submit button, start now button, and whenever I click on, I will tell you, Riaz. Okay, Riaz, I will tell you, don't worry about it. Okay, so this is the business layer wherein your backend languages will be there. Okay, so basically when you deal with backend languages, you mostly talk about Java, C Sharp, Python. Okay, so I will also tell you how to start easily and which language you should choose. Okay, so then this is your business layer wherein you just store something, and with the help of your business layer you are trying to fetch those things, and the final layer will be the database layer where you are storing your, obviously you should be able to store, right? Even if you talk about Facebook, all the images that you have uploaded so far will be there in the database, right? And whenever you click on that, it is present there. Right, your password is there, that is stored, your email ID, your friends, number of friends that are there, that is in the database, right? So all of those things will be present. So that is your database layer. Okay, so now let's talk about more in detail the presentation layer. Okay, so now don't worry about it, what is this green and what is this. Okay, so ECID advanced certificate course, free or paid? It's a paid one. Okay, it's a paid one. You also have those things, right? You don't have to pay everything upfront. You can just go through the brochure, and there is some EMI thing also. Okay, you can check it. Okay, you don't have to pay everything. Okay, so obviously now one might be thinking that something is not right there. Okay, so it might not be something which you can afford, right? So that is okay, there's an EMI option as well, you can check it. Okay, and plus if you have any doubt, there's a number on the bottom of the on the bottom corner, you can check it. Okay, you can give it a call. Okay, cool. So now this is your presentation layer. Okay, so now let's suppose this is the image that I was talking about, which we have on a Great Learning Academy. Then this is your name where it says that your login, then they have your hamburger sign over here. So now hamburger sign, when you just open up your YouTube, you see that on the left hand side top corner you see three lines, right? So that is with the help of Bootstrap. Okay, that can be done easily with the help of Bootstrap. Okay, so all of those things, right? Your HTML, your CSS, and your JavaScript is your presentation layer. Okay, so now these articles, right, here you want to put something which is very important. Here you want to put some text, then you have your footer, then you have your header, all of these structuring, right? So this is with the help of HTML, how you structure your page. Okay, then CSS, this coloring, this pink color, maybe some in the YouTube, right? You see the red button, the icons, and all those things, right? So that is your CSS. Maybe this hamburger sign with the help of Bootstrap, right? And then all the actions. When I clicked on login, when I clicked on download the brochure on our that program, right? The advanced certificate program, right? So that thing, when I click on it, is your JavaScript. When I clicked on it, what should happen? Should you open up a page? Should you go on a different page? Should you close this thing or not? So all of those things is your JavaScript. Okay, so now for a fresher, These things are very important, and he should learn these three things for a fresher. Okay, quickly give me a confirmation that how many are freshers. Just write a F, and if you have an experience of maybe more than 6 months, or not more than 6 months, maybe more than 1 year, then write E. If you are a fresher, that means less than 1 year, then write F quickly, guys, so that I can manipulate my session accordingly. Okay, F. Okay, Ajinkya says F. Quickly, guys. Yes, no. Okay, Aditi says yes. Quickly, guys. I want answers. There are a lot of participants in this session. Quickly, quickly. Yeah. Okay, Suman says, Utkarsh says F. Anyone who is less than 1 year. Okay, if someone is having more than 1 year, then write maybe E. Okay, so okay, great. Okay. Naveen is having an experience. Okay, great. Quickly, guys. I want to give you the best possible, so that you can learn a lot of things from this session, and it should be beneficial for you guys. Okay. Okay. Gautam says F. Okay. Quickly, guys. No experience. I'm a beginner. Okay. Joseph says E. Okay. Joseph. Great. Okay. So how front-end development and back-end works together? Yeah. I will tell you. So basically, they don't have to work together. It is when you deal with front-end, so you only deal with the UI. That means how you should have how should be the structure, what should be the colors, what should happen when you click on this. Now, what you are fetching when you are clicking on something, that is your backend. Okay, that is something which who is your backend developer. Okay, then storing is a different thing. Okay, Riyaz. Okay, can you teach us brute force attack? Okay, Rohit. Okay, no experience. I am in 12th. Okay, E. Okay, great, guys. Okay, so now for freshers, for most of you are freshers, and plus we have some experience as well. Joseph was there, Naveen is there. Okay, cool. Technique is there. Okay, BA technique. Okay, so cool. For freshers, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is very important, and try to build some static websites, right? Like maybe a tic tac toe game, right? Use HTML for structuring, you're creating a box, right? And then add some colors, CSS, maybe some bootstrap if you want, not necessary, but yeah. So then add some JavaScript. When you click on it, there when you click on that particular box, let's suppose this is your tic tac toe game, right? Tic tac toe is nothing but this, right? So when you click on this, there should be a cross. When you click let's suppose there's a user 1, you clicked on user 1, you have a user 1 button over here, you have a user 2 button over here. So user 1 is there. When you clicked on user 1, then you pressed a cross, should be happening. When you pressed on user 2, 0 should come, right? So then that is how you, and then plus obviously now you might be having some predefined sets which will help you to find who is the winner or not. Okay, so that is also there. Okay, you can create these static websites, right? And maybe if you're not thinking out something, let's suppose if you're not familiar with these kinds of things, so maybe go on to the GitHub, or maybe anything, right? GitHub, Stack Overflow, get some predefined you have something which is already there, right? Already there are some projects. Clone it. Okay, don't just copy paste it, that doesn't make any sense. Clone it. So learn about each, but it should be static. It should include only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Static one, go with static one, and then maybe probably clone 2-3 projects like that. Maybe learn what is this line doing, what is this line doing, sir. Yeah, we daily we have some, I have created myself, I've created sessions on how to create a JavaScript. There are some games that I've created in JavaScript and in Java, probably 3 or 4 in this and 2 in this maybe. Yeah, you can check it on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel in order to get all the sessions, right? There's a session on HTML, there's a session on CSS, there's a session on JavaScript, there's a full course on JavaScript, there's a full course on HTML and CSS. Okay, you guys have the material readily available to you. Okay, now in order to get a mentorship and resume building and doing a mock interview, learning much more details, algorithms, data structures, so then I have already shown you the program, the advanced program, right? So you can check that as well. Okay, cool. So now HTML, you are done with these 3 things, right? You cloned them, you created websites, right? You created websites, static websites, maybe two or three, then go for dynamic. Without going to React or anything else, go then switch to dynamic websites. Okay, clone them, similar stuff. So it will not take you more than a month to learn these things and create maybe 2 to 3 static projects. Maybe dynamic will take a little bit more time because of the complexity of the project, right? So but yeah, you should go for these things. Okay, once you are done with this thing, this is the best shortest possible path for a fresher. Now someone is thinking, okay sir, this is for freshers, but I'm an experienced, what should I do? Should I also learn these things? Yeah, plus you have to learn Git, you have to learn GitHub, you have to learn React JS framework, right? Because this is one of the frameworks or one of the libraries which is booming right now, React, right? Almost 20,000 components of Facebook are written in React. Okay, so you need to understand the obviously. Now don't go for something which is obsolete. Okay, there is Angular as well, right? There is Vue.js as well, right? Don't go for those things because there are not lot of job opportunities, plus they are not that much used right now. Something is on boom, start with that, and it is very easy. It's a library, it's a lightweight, right? What is static and what is dynamic? Basically you are not dealing, when you are talking about static websites, basically this is a simple page and you are just clicking around it. There is nothing going something going on the back end or going on the, you are not playing around with the database, you are not fetching something from the database. These are static websites, you are not storing anything. So okay, and dynamic means when you are trying to change whatever you have created. Maybe when you clicked on this thing, then there should be a new user. When you clicked on making it much more interactive, let's suppose you have only 2 static users in a game of TikTok, not TikTok, tic-tac-toe. Okay, now whenever you clicked on this thing, let's suppose click here to add player. When you clicked on it, there should be a new user here, there should be a new user coming whenever you are clicking on it, making it dynamic, right? Asking for different, making it much more complex, right? Do we get internships with React only? Obviously now React is nothing but a JavaScript library, guys. So if there is some dependency on JavaScript, obviously you should have a good solid understanding of JavaScript. I told you, for a fresher, this is the simplest way. Learn React and then go for React.js. Obviously there are internships for React as well. Okay, but you should know these things because they will be asking you. It is self-explanatory that if you're going for a React.js framework, you should be able to understand JS. Okay, Sandeep? Okay, cool. So then you have your Chrome development tools for a fresher as well as for a experienced guy. These Chrome development tools are very important. Let me show you quickly. So let's suppose this is my Chrome, right? And I right clicked on and I do the inspect, or I can do Control Shift I. So I can play around with this thing, right? Whatever is written on my screen, it is Google. I can just click on these things and I can see what are the elements, what is this. I can see all of those things. What is happening when I clicked on this? What is happening when I clicked on this? Where is it? I can see around this. Okay, what are the styles applied, what are the layout, what are the event listeners, what are the DOM breakpoints. Okay, all of those things are here. You can just play around with any website, okay, with the help of these development tools. Okay, Chrome development tools. Okay, Ramesh says, is it better to go for full stack or first concentrate on front end and back end? So obviously guys, when you are a full stack developer, right, whenever you are planning to become a full stack developer, it is easy for you to understand that okay, you will be covering front end, you will be covering back end. This is self explanatory, and it is easy for you to maybe go through this or learn these concepts because you are aiming for something which is big, right? So these minor things, full stack, front end, back end, will be covered obviously. Now if something doesn't go as you have planned, then you have options of becoming a front end or a back end engineer. Okay, so you should keep your options wide open. Okay, so this is for a presentation layer, but what about business layer? So business layer is where your logic is, right? Whatever happens, right? Let's suppose if I'm clicking on this button, how do you create that new user every time? How do you create that new user? Okay, so as I told you in tic-tac-toe game, right, when I clicked on that user, or add user button. Obviously this is something which is, when I click on it, this is the click event that I'm doing, right? Then how I can add those users, what is the business logic, and how I can store the information of those users when they play a game. When they are playing a game, obviously now if there are 3 users, now our board should be like that, right? If there are 2 users, then this is the board, this is the tic-tac-toe board. But if there are 3 users, I am taking a hypothetical example, then there should be a much larger board, right? So all of those business things, right? How what is happening, how you are storing, how you are fetching your data, what are you storing, how you are adding your components, all of those things is your business layer. And for a fresher, either go for PHP if you're planning to go into those websites which are related to business, right? And most easy, right? You have a JavaScript concept, you went for React JS, which is again dependent on JavaScript, or you can go for Node.js, which is a runtime environment and which will obviously help you a lot, right? If you ask me what is the shortest, what is the straightforward path for becoming a full stack developer, is learn JavaScript, learn React, learn Node. That's it. You're a full stack developer. A shortcut, but obviously it will take a lot of effort. Okay, a lot of effort is required. If someone is familiar with Java, for freshers, they can either go for PHP, Node.js, or Java. Okay. Sir, where are the jobs related to full stack are available? Please discuss full stack. Yes, yes, yes. I will. Akash, I will discuss those things. Those are in this session. Okay. Just give me some time. Okay. So now what is happening? This is for a fresher. Now, if you, let's suppose if you are experienced like Joseph and Ramesh was there, right? And Naveen also was there. So for those guys, they can go for Python, because in the end, if something doesn't work out for them, they can become a Python developer or Ruby developer, right? So that you should have your options clear, wide open, right? What is the role of a full stack? Full stack is the one who is dealing with your entire website, right? Who creates it from the scratch, who builds its presentation layer, who builds its business layer, who builds its database layer. Okay, so all of those things, when you are doing those things, this is sir, please take a class on ethical hacking too. Ujjwal, there's already a session, or there's already a course on our Great Learning Academy, right? GLA. Just type in your browser or Google Chrome, type in Great Learning Academy. There's an ethical hacking course already there. It is around 2. It will give you basics, right? It will cover your basics. Okay, cool. So for them, or they can go for .NET frameworks. Okay, if they are looking for something which is related to gaming, or gaming excites them, then .NET is also there. Okay, cool. Now guys, as I told you earlier, all the sessions that are there, or there's a 10-hour course on this, a 10-hour course on this, these two 10-hour course on this, maybe 2-hour course on this React. There's a 2 and a half hour course on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. There's a course on this as well. Okay, for similarly, there's a course on Node.js, right? Maybe around, which will cover your basics. There's a course on Java, there's a course on Python, maybe around 6 to 7 hours. Okay, .NET frameworks, right? So all of these things are available to you guys. Okay, sir, I'm confused with data science, full stack, web development, and cloud computing. Which I should opt for job purpose? For job purpose, if you, Rakesh, you are interested in data science, right? You are interested in machine learning, maybe AI, then obviously data science is your path. Else, if you are interested in full stack, right? The front end, the back end, the database, and then you should go for database or a full stack web development. And cloud computing is something which is a specialization that you can do. That is something else. Okay. Okay, so okay, great. Okay, cool. Same as my condition as okay, okay, okay. Is it understood? Dayanand, did you understood? Can you please conduct a live session to make a clone of LinkedIn or any website? Yes, we are working on cloning an e-commerce website, and soon we will be releasing maybe a session on it, or maybe it will be released on our YouTube channel, Sandeep. Okay, we are working on creating a clone of an e-commerce website, wherein we will be obviously using front end as well as some back end as well as some database. Okay, So it is necessary to learn .NET. Is .NET really in demand? Yeah, yes, .NET for those. Yeah, there is a specific domain, right? So let's suppose these two things and these three things are really in demand, right? Right, Bella. But PHP is for business ones. Wherever you have the business ones, right? And if you are having a Ruby experience, right, there's also there is also a scope there. But .NET, when you're dealing with games and you're trying to build game, maybe Unity engine is there, so you can deal with you can go for .NET frameworks like C Sharp. Okay, cool. So there are different domains, right? It is not that if something is there for maybe e-commerce website, you will be not using that much of .NET, right, for an e-commerce website. But for an maybe for an e-commerce website which includes maybe React, Node.js, they are shifting to Node.js for an e-commerce website. So it depends from domain to domain. Okay, okay, great. And then finally we have the database layer, and for database obviously you can either go for SQL, wherein everything is in the form of tables, and MySQL is very easy to understand, so you should go for this if you are a fresher. If not, then MongoDB, if for one who has having an experience, MongoDB is there. And NoSQL is basically tables are removed and you have everything in the form of documents, much more easy to understand. But as a fresher, again you should go for MySQL. Okay, how you find your data, all of those things is your database layer. Okay, how you store your data, how you run your queries, how you connect your backend with your database, what is JDBC, right, if you're talking about Java. Okay, so all of those things. So can we discuss salaries? Yes, now we are coming to first let's understand what are the other technologies that one should have. Okay, so for a fresher obviously you should have something, you should know these protocols, HTTP, you should have a basic understanding of REST APIs, how they work, how is the bridging happening, how do you bridge your components. Okay, DevOps, already there's a course on DevOps, you can go for that. Mobile app development, already a course on our YouTube channel, you can go for that. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and get access to all the free data that we have. Okay, Firebase, testing is very important. Basically whenever you're dealing with testing, you should be able to test your code, test your components, JUnit testing, unit testing, right? So all of those things are there in testing, and testing is very important. For refreshers, focus on this. It is an add-on, guys, so don't waste your time starting to learn these things. This is an add-on and this will come later. Okay, and this part is again for an experienced guy. Okay, cool. So now what are the things that you should remember? Knowing front end and back end languages is not enough. You should be able to understand, you should be able to correlate. You should have a clear understanding what a front end engineer does, what a back end engineer does, or what are the languages that you should know, and plus along with database. Okay, only knowing these two things will not work. You should have a solid understanding of database as well. Okay, then can you become a full stack developer in 2 months, 5 months, in a year, depending upon your projects, whatever your projects have created. You have created an e-commerce website, you have created maybe a cloned LinkedIn from scratch, maybe along with the UI, along with its front end, along with its back end, along with its database. Yes. Okay, then SDLC is important for everyone, freshers as well as for experienced guy. And creating something of your own, which I have already discussed. Static websites, dynamic websites, clone them as much as you can. Okay, and try to implement your concepts. Okay, don't wait to learn all the technologies first. No, don't wait, start learning them and start implementing them, and as well as go for freelancing. Okay, freelancing is there, and there is an Upwork, there's a Fiverr is there. Okay, so all of those freelancing things, obviously they won't it's not about making money right now. It's about understanding what are the requirements, how do you learn, how do you earn. Okay, and you basically it is not about earning, right, it is about having experience. Okay, now that is how you, when you have a freelancing experience, obviously no one will give you job when you have an experience in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It is difficult, yes, maybe in some cases, but it is difficult. But how can you improve? How can you say that I want to become a full stack developer maybe in 5 months? How you start learning these things and start earning. How? Going on the freelancing websites like Fiverr, Upwork. Okay, so you start earning, learning as well as earning. Okay, Don't just learn and implement it. Try to earn something so that it will come up in your experience. Building a strong resume is also important. Okay, now SDLC, very important. First, for any project, be it a small mini project like a tic-tac-toe game or a snake game or something like an e-commerce website, static e-commerce website, IPL website, right? Creating something on your own. So first thing that you should know is the requirement. What is the requirement? You should be able to do the analysis of requirement. What are the things that you should know? What are the things that you are going to do? Just print it out, make a blueprint of it, maybe just point out your all the things that are there, maybe some memory map kind of a thing. Point it down. Okay, this is the thing that I'm like doing front end, and this is how I'm going to create my front end page. Okay, sir, I have a question. Yes, Bilal, what about Firebases for database? Yes, you can learn them, Majuda, but that is something add on. Okay, don't just waste your time. If you are a fresher, don't just waste your time on Firebases right now. Just start learning the basic things first, and all the green things that I have written in green things, learn first then. Okay, then maybe slowly and gradually move on to different things. Okay, but obviously no, don't just learn. Don't fall in that trap. Okay, learn and implement. This is how you should go. Okay, Bilal, yeah, go ahead, Bilal, and ask your question. So you have your requirement, then you design it. Maybe create some front end part of it, HTML, structure it, CSS design, for coloring it, and JavaScript. So you have designed it. Then you are going to implement it, that I am going to use JavaScript for this thing. I'm going to structure my website like this. Here I am really having my image which will keep on moving from left to right. Okay, and maybe I have some text over here, maybe I have some images, maybe here I will have an hamburger sign. So you have designed it. Now implement it. Now test it. Is everything working fine or not? Sir, if I want to become a full stack Java developer, so I can also become a full stack developer, that yes. Obviously, right? A full stack Java developer, basically you will be having some idea of database, obviously Java in your backend and front end, React, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you are a fresher, okay. Sir, what is the difference between a full stack developer and a full stack engineer? Moreover, it is same, but yeah, there's a difference of an experience. Maybe somewhere you see a lot of add-ons for an engineer. They might be asking AWS, they might be asking DevOps, they might be asking Jira is there, right? So all of those agile and scrum things will be there for a full stack engineer. Okay, add-ons, those things, this is a kind of a subset of a full stack developer. But in most of the cases you might be thinking, okay, those are same. Yeah, that might be the case as well. It depends upon company to company and requirement to requirement. Okay, then the testing, and then evolution, maybe how to make your project scalable. That is something which, when you are in an organization, at that time you take care of these things, making it scalable, making it let's suppose if there's how does evolution happen. Let's suppose your application runs for 50 users. Now what about when there are 100 users? Your application will fall, right? Your application will not work properly. So that is the evolution, making it scalable, making it sustainable, making it easy to maintain, easy to install or upgrade to new things. Okay, so that is the evolution there. So that is something when you are in the organization. But as an SDLC, that how the development cycle work, these 4 steps are important. 5th is an optional as of now. Okay, when you are in a company, this is not an optional step. Okay, cool. So let me again, before moving on to the salaries, let me go ahead, as I can see that most of you have still asking questions regarding this. So this is the program that I was talking about, guys. So it is an advanced certificate program in full stack development, right? And it is with IIT Roorkee. Okay, so this will be what I can say, that if you have something like this in your resume, your chances will get higher. Okay, now what are the things that you are going to cover, and how does the certificate will look? So this is how your certification will look like, and the specialization you are doing it in. Okay, so there are 2 specialization that you can do. So one is cloud computing, another is Python for data science, and these are the things that will be included in the curriculum, or what will you will be learning is the front object oriented, data structures, algorithms, database design and systems, server side, right? One who is looking for this will help you understand Spring MVC, right? For backend Spring Boot framework. Okay, ORM, Hibernate, REST APIs, all of these things will be covered. For front end, Java, for front end HTML, CSS, JavaScript, plus some React. Okay, It's kind of a self-study, the React, okay, but we will be focusing on frameworks as a whole, right? Not specifically to something like React or Angular, okay. Mm, and then there is specialization in cloud computing. You will be covering these many things, AWS, right? And then for Python, for data science, you will be covering SQL programming and applications, supervised learning, unsupervised. But the most important thing, guys, this which I have highlighted: resume building, very important. Whatever you have learned, whatever you have implemented, put it on your resume. How do you put it? That will be there. How to build a solid resume so that the chances of getting or facing an interview becomes higher. Mock interviews, very important, to get that fear of having an interview out of your system, right? And then one-on-one mentorship, okay, that is also there, okay. And these are the faculties that are there that will be teaching you, okay. For any other query, we have this bot over here. We can download the brochure as well. You can look for benefits, what are the benefits. You can look for faculties that are there, benefits, what are the benefits that you will be going, what are the benefits that are there now. Networking and program support is there, okay. And then there's a career, how we can make a career out of it, right? Interview preparation, how it is done. Career mentorship, how it is done, okay. All of those things will be there, okay. You can check it once the session is over. Now let's move on to our most important thing, that is the salaries offered in India. Guys, this is only the minimum thing that you will be getting, okay. This is not something that is fixed, okay. It depends from company to company, but we have taken the minimum bracket that you can get, the minimum, right? This is something these are not, we are not talking about tech giants here. We are talking about small scalable companies, okay. So that it is kind of we are covering all the things, right? Sky is the limit, okay. So obviously when you're talking about front-end developer salary, it will be around 5 LPA in India. And this is the average salary, and it can go, for a fresher it can go as high as 10 LPA for a fresher, which is, I think, obviously, which is what I can say that it is kind of uh, a good salary, right? Not a great salary, but yeah, it's a kind of a good salary, right? For a front end developer. Now, if you talk about back end developer, it will be average will be around 6 LPA, and it can go up to 20 LPA for a back end developer, right? And for a full stack developer, it can go around 12 LPA, right? And it can go around a minimum of 5 LPA, right? So obviously, guys, this is something, right? If you're talking about an SDE role in Amazon, you will get a 27 LPA, right? So we are not talking about those companies right here. Goldman Sachs, right? If you talk about Goldman Sachs, again, they will pay you much more, right? So they are paying around 25, right? So again, Microsoft, they will be paying you for different positions, right? SDE roles are there, a full stack development role is there, they pay 40 LP, right? The sky is the limit. So this is just a minimum bracket, right? That is there, okay. Apart from that, you can earn as much as you want depending upon your skills, okay. Cool. What are the common myths? Companies hire a junior full stack development? No, that is not that is something, obviously this is a myth, right? So there is no such thing as junior full stack developer or junior backend developer, maybe in companies, but still they will ask you for experience, okay. So a fresher who learn all the languages, can he become a full stack developer? Yes. For a fresher who has, obviously now there's a smart way of becoming a full stack developer, that you can add maybe 15 to 20 full stack projects, not static ones. You can include them, but yeah, if you talk about a full stack developer, I have worked on this. What is the thing that I learned? This is the thing that I learned, okay. You should have so many things to, whenever you are facing an interview, you should have a lot of lot of things in your bag, right, in terms of projects, right? So you have created an e-commerce website, you have created a social networking website. Then for a fresher, full stack development role is possible, okay. And then obviously HTML, CSS, if you think that these are not important, these are for kids, no, this is not true. So HTML, CSS is important, okay. Freelancing is not a good choice if you're thinking, absolutely not. You won't make money, that is not the problem, that is not the criteria over here. It is for the experience. so that this thing is possible. This thing is possible. Fresher full stack development is possible because of freelancing. Testing is not meant for full stack developers, absolutely not. It is meant for everyone. Okay, you should be able to test your code. Okay, what is the correct path? Focus on front end, get a job if it is possible for you, right? And then migrate to backend. This is the shortest way, right? Then migrate to backend and then get into freelancing and then focus on the first three steps, right? This is the shortest path or the correct path that one can think of. Focus on front end, create an websites, look for a job. If you're getting a job, well and good. If not, then migrate to backend, start learning, start going for freelancing, create projects, create mini projects, create static website, dynamic websites, create free e-commerce website, create social networking websites. Done. Add them in your resumes and then focus on first three steps again. Then go for a fresher kind of a thing. From fresher, go to the experience one. Okay, sir, I don't have a degree. Will I get hired if I become a full stack developer? Rudra, what is the degree that you are having? If you have certificates like these IIT Roorkee ones, obviously there is a chance, right? So there is a chance. Getting into freelancing is also there, and then start working as a freelancer is also an option. Then look for a job. Okay, I can do that. These things. Okay. All right. So have a great learning, guys. All the very best, and thank you so much, guys. And if you have questions, you can post them in the chat. I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, and again let me give you a quick curriculum so that you can understand what are the things. Obviously we have talked about all of those things and those will be already there. So HTML, CSS is there, data structure algorithm, what you want, data structure algorithm, that is there. What do you want? HTML, CSS, that is there. What do you want? JavaScript, that is there. What do you want? Java is there. Spring frameworks, frameworks on Java, Spring Boot, Hibernate, AWS is there for specialization, right? Your DevOps is there, your SQL is there, right? So all of those things are there in this certificate program. You can check it, guys. Okay, it's and if you're adding these things into your resumes, definitely it will help. Okay, sir, I have a IT diploma after 12th. IT, yes, obviously you can get a job. It's not about degree, guys. Rudra, you should focus on implementation and learning new things, and obviously okay, so yeah, you should be able to implement those things and then obviously add as many projects as you can. Okay, all right, so thank you so much. So great learning that is why the name is there, right? The great learning. So you can have everything, almost everything on your YouTube channel, and on Great Learning Academy is there, which is absolutely free. Okay, you can check that as well. Okay, okay, Naveen. All right, thank you so much, guys, and all the very best. And we are also going to release videos on interview preparation on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Okay, price you need to check. Naveen, you need to check on that same thing which I showed you. Okay, you need to check the program. Okay, all right, thank you so much, guys.